getting rebooted.
Yeah, so this week there was news that the classic 90s UK video game show GamesMaster is planning a return. So GamesMaster, for anyone that doesn't know, and anyone that lives outside the UK wouldn't know, it ran for about 7 years or 6 years or so, from 1992 to 1998 on Channel 4 over there. And I was living in the UK around 93, 94. So I was actually there for the first couple of seasons, and I remember this show super fondly. And it was the first UK show about video games. So it had a really, really cool setup where basically each season was set in, like, one was set in an oil rig, another was set in a church, and it just had such a cool, almost like dark gothic vibe about it. It's the most 90s thing you've ever seen if you go see any stuff now. It is like 90s, I don't know, on steroids. It's crazy. But it was hosted by a guy called Dominic Diamond, who's a media personality over there. He's Scottish. For 6 of the 7 seasons. But one of the seasons, and one of the ones I fondly remember, which was season 3, was actually hosted by Dexter Fletcher. And I don't know if you guys know that name, but Dexter Fletcher was the second unit director and took over from Bryan Singer on Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie, as the director. And Dexter Fletcher was the director for Rocket Man, the Elton John movie as well. Nice. So it's just wild for me still to this day to think of. I just think of that guy as the host of GamesMaster, even though it was only for 1 season. But the GamesMaster himself was portrayed by a guy named Sir Patrick Moore, very well known in the UK, and it was just it was focused a lot on competition, and you got two people challenging each other, but then it mixed it in with reviews and hints and stuff. And it just had a really, really cool vibe to it. And they also released a magazine that I was very fond of as well, and they printed that for quite a few years. And this reboot, so the reboot's coming to what's called E4, so I'm guessing it's like one of the secondary channels of Channel 4 over there. But it sounds like it's going to be a bit different. I don't know if it's going to have the same impact, and it will focus on celebrities battling each other in video game competitions. And this day and age with Twitch, and you've got people like Ronda Rousey and AOC going on Twitch already, it kind of almost feels like, well, that stuff's already happening, so it doesn't feel like a unique hook. But
and who's it aimed at? Who gives a shit about people like that fighting it out, celebrities fighting it out? That's the part I don't get.
Well, look, people
do you really care about that?
You ask a question. You could ask that question about any reality TV show.
No, but it's a different kind of the from what I've seen of the episodes back then. It was different. It was actual people, gamers and stuff, battling it out.
Yeah. You did have celebrities.
Do gamers care about celebrities?
You did actually have a lot of celebrities coming on the show. And apparently it led to there's actually an article on Eurogamer. It's quite old. It's from about 2014 called GamesMaster: The Inside Story, which is fantastic. It's a great read for anyone that was watched GamesMaster as a kid. So I'll link that in the show notes. But they actually talk about like people like Vinnie Jones and 2 Unlimited and a whole bunch of UK celebrities, and just some really, really funny anecdotes, and especially footballs apparently were the worst because they'd get like called up the last minute that they're cancelling and stuff. So you did actually have a lot of celebrity involvement with it, but this sounds like apparently it's like 5 celebrities, and each week they eliminate a celebrity, and then you get a winner at the end. So
you know what it reminds me of a little bit, Swinny, and going to Mike's point on, does anyone care if celebrities play games? I would say yes, because I think Conan O'Brien's series Clueless Gamer, like that is a very popular series. That gets a lot of traffic on.
It's
YouTube
really popular, I think, because fair enough. Look, I think
he like genuinely is like he almost hates video games. To be honest, I don't think he really wants to do the segments at all. But they get a lot of traction, and it is really
like watching
funny.
A train wreck. I get it.
That's what's funny about it. You watch these people and it's well edited and everything like that, but it is funny to watch people play, especially something you're familiar with and they're so terrible at it, or they come on and they're actually pretty decent at it. It's like, okay.
Look, I get it. I'd be happy as long as in the reboot, they bring the magazines back out and they bring the Sir Patrick Moore centerfolds that each one used to have. If they do that, then yeah, cool by me.
So
I don't think you've seen what he looks like. So.
Yeah, just
no, I have seen what it looks like. I've seen
Okay,
I've seen a whole bunch of
okay.
these episodes now.
Just on that note, on the sales website for Channel 4, they've got a picture of Sir Patrick Stewart next to the GamesMaster logo. So if they end up getting Patrick Stewart to be the GamesMaster, that is awesome.
Man, I would love him in one of those poses, just leaning back.
That would be funny.
In a centerfold. I would buy that.
It's basically like it's almost like just a head with like it's like a Krang style, like within a machine and stuff. But yeah, really cool. And it's
what's up with the UK, Swinny, of doing that kind of stuff? There's many examples I can think of, like Red Dwarf, where the UK really loves having just like floating heads.
Well, it's funny you say that because one of the sets they did for one of the seasons was actually used for an episode of Red Dwarf.
Ah, okay, there you go.
Yes.
Was that the set that we saw in the B-roll? Because it reminded me of season 7 of Red Dwarf.
No, I don't think it was. I think it was just the one. I can't remember what season it was, but it was the one that was set on an oil rig, and I think that was used in one of the episodes. But yeah, it was great. It was definitely a product of its time. You know, we may have mentioned it before, but you know, at some point we've got to talk about the Australian video game show, Amazing as well. And it was very different in tone to that. This was like very dark, industrial. Whereas Amazing was like a fun, happy kind of game show. But
the
tones are like completely the opposite.
Yeah, very different.
And what happened to that other gaming show we had in Australia?
Good Game?
Good Game, yeah. That was awesome.
They sort of transitioned it. It was like Good Game, and then they made like
Spawn.
Spawn Gate or
Spawn, I think it was.
Spawn
Yeah,
something.
Spawn
Point.
That was like
I
the
think it was
more
called.
kids. Spawn Point, yeah, that was the more the kids.
Yeah, but I think at that
one,
stage
yeah.
it was already waning, and then
it's a
the main
shame.
hosts left, and you sort of it kind of faded out.
It was good while it
interesting
lasted. It was good while it lasted.
Yeah, it was
it's
awesome.
fascinating though, because gaming has never been bigger, but really those TV shows, none of them are working. None of them are working at all. But I guess, you know, you look at YouTube, Twitch, those channels are massive now. They've literally millions of people following them. So I guess that's where the audience has gone, which makes sense.
Well, maybe we should approach the ABC and go, hey, I know a couple of other guys who are doing this podcast. We're thinking
Big week in
maybe
gaming
you
on the
can,
ABC.
do a big week in gaming on the ABC, yeah.
We'd have to do our PC training, so I'm not sure if we'd be able to pass that.
I wouldn't pass it. No, I'm not even going to bother.
All right. Well, let's move on to the final story. This is